Welcome to the True Love Secrets Revealed online summit. Today we have again, one more time, Mike Goldstein with us. He is a dating coach, public speaker, an author, and the founder of Easy Dating Coaching. His main point of focus is helping successful, happy women find love and commitment via personalized one on one coaching. He also has one of the best YouTube channels in the YouTube sphere. So go there and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Thank you, Mike, for being here. I love seeing you again.
Thank you for having me on again.
Such a pleasure. And so let me ask you the first question. Why is dating more complicated than ever now?
Great question. I think it's so complicated because of the multitude of options. Just when we get online, especially you women know, you could have 5, 10, 15, 20 options. And there's a lot of options and it makes it hard to select. There's just a lot happening. And there's always a bigger, better syndrome for both men and women that we can always obtain better. And I mean, if you think about it, 50 years ago, women were a lot less prevalent in the workforce. So now we're navigating careers. We're navigating trying to fall in love. We're navigating maybe single parenting. It's freaking complicated. And then on top of that, there's just so much freaking dating advice. And, you know, if you're reading Cosmopolitan or the New York Times or whatever, just everyone's got their own 2 cents on what to do. And you can just get bombarded with so much information.
Right.
Would you like me to maybe make it a little simpler and just tell people what I think can kind of make it less complicated?
Absolutely, please.
Yeah. So I just built this now for this moment. I've never talked about this before.
Yes.
But what I want people to do, like I'm sure a lot of other coaches have said this, but let's oversimplify it with very simply, you need to show up as yourself, vulnerable and authentic. If you are vulnerable and authentic and have figured out who you are, you're going to get your person. That's it. That's all you have to do. Everything else, I mean, it does help when you have a great strategy on how to get in front of men. Right. But the big thing is if you can be vulnerable, be authentic, when you show up on a date, men are going to see that. And the guy that's just like, whoa, this is not for me, he bounces off immediately. And the guys that are really into you, they're going to want to take you on date 2, date 3, date 4, and you get your guy.
Right.
I think a lot of people are probably listening and being like, Mike, I know who I am. I am authentic. I am vulnerable. I get it. I thought that too when I looked at my own stuff. And then I'm like, I'm so great. I'm just like, every woman should want me. If I could give you some practical help, I think, especially for you people that have been in a lot of relationship, a lot of partnership, or been dating, especially when you get into, you know, these 3-month plus relationships, things come up. And what I love about relationship, even if maybe you're not ready for relationship is the greatest mirror of what is happening inside yourself. And they reflect what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And so what I want people to do is look at your previous relationships. What were things your partner didn't love about you? And then put it in 2 buckets. Is this something that I need to work on that's actually a flaw? Or is this just, I picked the wrong partner and I want to stay exactly who I am. I just know I need a different partner. Right. And now you're assessing who you want to be and how you want to show up authentically as the best version of you. That's healed, that's healthy.
Okay, thank you for the clarifying, because I was thinking like, well, what about if I am an angry woman and I go authentically angry? that's not going to work. So thank you. So authentically, you mean authentically grounded on our highest self.
Yeah, like let me give you an example. Like in my past partnership, I was a massive people pleaser. Like I didn't want to rock the boat. So
For
anytime,
real?
what?
You were a people pleaser?
Oh, massive.
Wow, you have changed a lot in a good way, in a good way, in a good
Oh,
way.
wow. Thanks.
You have. I would have never, I mean, we met this year and I would have never thought of you as you come up so strong and with good boundaries and
I mean, I think in business I show up a little differently than in my personal
okay.
life. But yeah, so Natalia, on yeah, my last relationship, she would tell me whatever she wanted to do, and I'm like, oh, happy wife, happy life, like whatever she wants. And we would be going to see her nephews and her family like every weekend. And I totally loved her family, but like every weekend it was getting a bit much. And she wanted to go. I'm like, all right, let's go. And just everything that I wanted to do, I never told her about. I never did. I never took care of myself. And I became miserable.
Wow.
And so I needed to learn before I could get into my next partnership that I need to take care of myself and I need to tell my partner, hey, in this moment, I need this. And no, I do not want to do that. I needed to learn the word no, and I needed to learn to take care of myself. Then when I showed up, I could actually show them and tell them what I wanted.
Right.
So now a woman could decide, ooh, is this something that works for me versus, when I was a people pleaser, I could be compatible with a ton of women for at least a little while because the whole time I'm like, yeah, that's great, let's do it. So they would like me, and eventually I become miserable. But now,
You were like a chameleon.
mm-hmm, and that's not long term going to work. And that's
No,
what we're all looking for is long term partnership, right?
right. Well, that's so refreshing to hear. I mean, I'm sorry you went through that, but it's from a man because sometimes as women, we have the tendency to think that we are always the chameleon ones, but men can have the same patterns. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course. And then with the right partner in the right relationship, when you do share the things that are bothering you, they can listen, they can hear you, and then you can find out solutions together. And so that's what we're looking for.
Right. I absolutely love it. So, the next question that I have for you, this is huge. How can women avoid wasting time on the wrong men?
Mm. um so efficiency is so important. It's the cornerstone of my business. um I work with women mostly for 6 months, and any moment with the wrong guy is a waste of that 6 month period where I'm expecting to put them into partnership. I have an 83% success rate. I take that so seriously. And the moment we are with the wrong partner is the moment we may not get, they may end up in that 17%. So we really need to be crystal clear about the right person. So once again, what we need to do is it starts with our profile, it starts with our pictures. From the profile, if that's where we're getting dates. Or it starts when we get on the date as well, if you're meeting in person. But your profile has to be so authentically you. And ladies, you may be thinking like, oh, it doesn't matter. I just get pictures and they message me. I get it. I totally get it. That happens.
Right.
But the guys you end up on dates with, the guys that are looking for real partnership, they actually do read your profile. And we want to deter the people that don't make sense. Like if you're into Harry Potter, put that in your profile. If that runs your life, that you go to Harry Potter movies or whatever, put that in there. And the people that don't like it, they're gone. The people that love Harry Potter, they like get big eyes and they can message you something specific. So we show up authentically.
Right.
We go on the date. We share exactly who we are. we let things flow out of our mouth. We can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If we say something that scares them off, great, goodbye. If we say something where they get big-eyed, they're going to be excited to ask you on second date. Next thing, to get information, when the date ends, we do not text them, we do not call them, we do not email them. This is so important for information. A guy, I'll never forget, I know so many guys that do this. If a woman messages them after a date, they're like, oh, maybe I can get laid. Maybe I'll go out with her again. I'll pay for dinner, I'll court her, and maybe I get laid. So, because he's thinking, oh, she messaged me. She must really be into me. Maybe this will be an easy one for me. Do not do this. And even if he maybe just is lonely, he's like, oh, she likes me. I'll go out. Don't do that. Instead, if you do absolutely nothing, a guy is going to reach out to you really in 24 hours, and if not 48 hours, if he's really into you. If you don't hear from him in 48 hours, he's either not available for dating or he's not really into you. But this is so freaking important to get that information so you don't waste time.
Right.
So please implement that. We don't have information, and if a client messages the guy in 24 hours, I'm like, what are you doing? We lost so much intel.
Right.
We don't do that.
I love it. I love the way you're saying that you don't have information, because I also tell my clients that when you do something like that, they're cheating themselves of getting to know the guy for real. Because in the overdoing, they don't create the space for him to shine, and then it's not a good beginning. I agree with you 1,000%. Thank you for sharing that. And another question that I have for you, I was so excited to see you because I really want to hear what you believe about what is the difference between compromising and settling. There is a difference.
Well, let me tell you a story.
Good. Love stories.
I didn't realize this till very recently, but I've went on hundreds, maybe thousands of dates, and I'm a love coach. So all I wanted to do is fall in love. Like ever since I was 16, I'm like, I want to fall in love. I want to find my partner. And I got this idea in my head. Like, I'm really athletic. I'm into lifting weights. I'm into playing sports. I'm like, my partner must be into lifting weights and playing sports. Like, no brainer. I love that. Like, my life revolves around working out. I work out like almost every day. Well, pretty much every day. Got to find someone who likes working out. So I got that ingrained in my DNA. That's who my partner is. And then all of a sudden I went on a date with someone who didn't really love working out. And she's like, I take it or leave it. And we had the most amazing time together. And so I really was struggling with it. I'm like, oh, she doesn't like working out. This is definitely in my top 5 list. Like, what do I do? I was really struggling with it. So then I went on date 2, date 3, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm having so much fun with her. She is so perfect. I feel so amazing. I've never felt this way about anyone. And then I just had this big fight with myself. I'm like, but she doesn't play sports and she doesn't like working out. And she doesn't have the body type that comes along with the working out and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, all right, I'm attracted to her. I feel amazing about her. Oh, crap. The way I've been dating for the last 38, 39 years of my life, or I'm 39, have been wrong. So I fell in love with this person. I'm crazy about her. And so compromise, your question was compromise or what?
Settling. What is the difference between compromising and settling? It seems like in that case you were compromising, huh? Did I get it right?
Yeah, so let me answer it very specifically so that people understand. What you want to feel when you are with the person and when you're not with them is absolutely amazing. Like, you adore them, you think they're like the greatest thing that ever happened. And then when you're not with them, you're like, I feel safe, I feel secure, I know everything's great. And I think they're so incredible. I think they're amazing. So when you have that feeling,
Right.
then you can start looking at different things. The biggest fight I am having with my fight, if you will, our biggest problem, I don't know what you want to call it, with my current partner is
Right.
that I like to sleep in complete darkness and she likes to wake up with light. And
Mm.
so we're having a discussion about sleeping arrangements. So now we have to compromise about how we're going to sleep. And so maybe sometimes I'll wear a mask. Maybe sometimes it'll be completely dark. Maybe
I have the
sometimes,
solution for you.
yeah.
A timer. Get a
Oh,
lamp with a timer. So when her alarm goes off, are you okay with that?
oh, your shades open?
No, no. Well, that could be too, but a lamp, a night lamp or something.
Oh, that turns on at a certain
That,
time.
yes, there
I
are
like that
some
idea.
lights on the market. You can get them at Amazon that are made for people that live in Iceland or people that live in places where they spend very long times without light, daylight. So the light that they emit, it resembles 100% the sunlight. So she can have that by the bed, and at 7 a.m., whatever, that lights come instead of a alarm clock, that could be her alarm clock.
Well, that's a good idea.
It's the best of both worlds.
I love it. Just so everybody's clear, we don't compromise. So we don't like, I mean, everyone that's watching this is like, I want to have the greatest love of my life. And that's what I'm pretty sure every coach on here is trying to deliver for you. So none of us are compromising on that concept. We are like, you want the best love that you've ever had? Well, that's what we want to deliver for you.
Right.
And so if we have to figure out sleeping arrangements or like whatever other random problem there is, that we're going to figure out, but we're not going to not feel amazing around this person.
Right. I'll say I call them, and I got this from another coach. I can't remember who she was, but creative solutions. I call them having creative solutions. And settling, I think it's more like, I don't know, if I want to feel adored and he's emotionally stunned, is, getting married to him when there is not going to be, an emotional connection. Don't you think, Mike?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's giving up something that is really, really important. But, in the example that you gave with your girlfriend, it's something that if you are a little bit creative and have some, some desire, you can fix it.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the most important things, like we were talking about earlier, is all right, she doesn't play sports and she didn't have the body I thought I was going to be with.
Right.
But once again, I feel amazing with her. And then also, like, she doesn't have the income that I thought I would have with a partner.
That's a big one.
But does any of that really matter? Because once again, I think we should judge this whole thing on how you feel with them and how you feel when you're not with them. So if she makes me feel amazing and I have a decent amount of money myself, and probably because I'm with her, we will create more abundance financially because of how she makes me feel. And so when I show up to work, I'm smiling instead of miserable.
Right.
Like, I'm going to generate more income. And in turn, actually, it'll bring me up higher versus, my last partner made 300,000 a year versus she makes substantially less. I'm sure I will make up that income difference just by being happier instead of like not quite as happy.
Right. That's great. That's great from a guy perspective, Mike. But what about from a woman perspective? I do run into that a lot, and you do too, I'm sure. Women that are making a lot of money and they have this requirement that they want to date a guy or they want to marry a guy that makes the same or more money than them. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my clients make a lot of money,
Right.
and I think it's just kind of silly. Like,
Okay.
I think it's the same either way. Like, I make a good amount of money. I have clients that make a good amount of money. Like, I have one client who's in North Carolina, and the wage in North Carolina is a lot less than California, but I think she makes about 500 a year. And to try to find a guy that makes 500 in North Carolina is like very unrealistic. So if we were going to do that, we'd be there all day.
Right.
But once again, in my opinion, which I've been doing this for a decade, getting a ton of people together and 0 divorces. How do you feel when you're with them? How do you feel when you're not with them? If you're talking about money, you've just created a list that, with me going on thousands of dates and being a dating expert, never served me. I had my list for years and I could never get a partner that ultimately could stick or that I was really freaking happy with, because I created this list and I tried to go after it instead of just making it very simple. How do I feel when I'm with them? How do I feel when I'm not with them?
Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. That's so clear. So, and the last question I'm going to ask you today is why chemistry gets you into a relationship, but it doesn't necessarily sustain it in the long term?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the story of my life.
No.
It is. My whole life was, like this sense, my eyesight superseded all other senses, my smell, my hearing, which the ears would have been really useful in selecting, but I didn't use those.
Well, good thing that superseded the smell, because if you like women into sports, believe me, we don't smell really good after running a marathon.
That's true. But the sports women look good. So I always dated these beautiful women and it never got me anywhere. And that was chemistry.
Right.
I always selected with my eyes. And even when I became aware of it, probably at like 26, 28, I was like, Mike, don't select the prettiest one. Select a pretty one that also had a great personality and you can have fun with. And even then, I still in the back of my mind really let my eyesight, and we've got to reprogram that. Because as men, that's like we're hunters, that's what we do. We look at like how the hips look. Oh, and subconsciously we go, oh, she's fit, she's going to live for a long time, or she's going to be able to produce a great offspring. Or even if you're dating in your 60s, we still are looking at that curve and we're like, that's the one I like. And that's the face I like. That's the symmetry. But we need to get rid of that and start very simply. How do I feel when I'm with them? How do I feel when I'm not with them?
Right. So that's the main mantra for us today. How do we feel when I am with him, in my case, and how do I feel when I am not with him? That is a better rule to have than anything else. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's, where we get complicated with everything. Once again, I've been doing this for a decade. If you need to call your girlfriend, if you need to call your mom, or you need to call your sister, or you need to call your dating coach and ask a question about the person you're dating, like 95% of the time, if it's in the first few months, it's not your person, because it should be just smooth sailing.
Right.
Like it should be so easy. How does it feel? It feels amazing. If it doesn't feel amazing with them and without them, get rid of them.
Right.
You don't need to have a discussion. That's how we can be efficient. Back to whatever question that was. Get rid of them. It should be so easy.
Avoiding wasting time with the wrong guy.
Yeah. Like, let's simplify this.
Right.
If you've got to call and have this like 40-minute discussion with your dating coach, this isn't your person.
Right.
I mean, yeah, those conversations may happen if you're a client that happens to be married to someone for 10 years or even with someone for a few years. Sure, we can have these long dialogues, but in the early stages of dating, we're going to talk about someone for 20 minutes. Right. That's crazy. No, that's not your person. Next.
Right. Love it. It cannot be more clear than that. Absolutely yes to that. If it's not a hell yes at the beginning, it's not going to be a hell yes at the end. That's when they are at their best. We all are. So love it.
And just to be clear, like when you're dating, like we were talking about chemistry and compatibility.
Mhm.
When you go on this first date, it may be a hell yes, because once again, you're using your eyes
Yes.
or whatever. But instead, was it easy? And
Mm,
how do I feel? I felt great. The conversation was easy. So if it felt really easy to talk to them, like your conversation was an 8, 9, 10 out of 10, like it was really enjoyable, go on another date. Then go on another date. And if it just is gradually going up, you're like, wow, this is so easy. This is so easy. This feels good. This feels great. And it's just going like that.
right.
That's all my clients that are getting married, especially for women. We know that you fall in love on average by date 14. Men fall in love on average by date 2, which is insane. I don't know how that happens, but anyway, I don't want you to be up here on date 1 where you're like, oh, he makes $1 million. He looks like Mr. Big from Sex and the City. He's got a suit on. He's so charming. He's such a good talker. No, I just want it to be, how's the conversation? It was easy. And he's not like a 10 out of 10 looks wise, but I'm attracted to him. And the conversation was so easy. That sounds more exciting to me than when you tell me Mr. Big showed up and he was the most charming man on the planet. Like that guy, is the perpetual bachelor that never settles down. I'm less interested in that.
Right. Right. That's awesome. Thank you, Mike. There is anything else you want to say before we finish the conversation, the interview?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Do you mind talking a little bit about your gift? I know you have a gift for the viewers.
Yes. I have an amazing gift.
Yeah.
We hold 2,000 men. This took a long time. And we have a video for you. It's a short video,
Nice.
but it took a long time to get the polling. And it's called Men Over 40 Choose Women Based on These 4 Feelings. So it took me a very long time to get this advice nailed down. It's a very, very popular video. I think it's up to, between this and some other iterations of it, we're probably approaching, I don't know, 600,000 views. Like people
Wow.
love this video.
Congratulations, Mike. That's a lot of views.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
So I want to give this to you guys for free. It took me a long time. Check it out. It's very helpful advice. And then if any of you want, after you opt in, you just have to put in your email address. The next page will allow you to sign up for a discovery call with me. It's 15 minutes. Now, only sign up for this call if you are looking for paid coaching from me. That call is complimentary, but your time, my time is wildly valuable.
Right.
And I don't work with many people. It is probably the most high-end program in our space. It is the most successful, 83% success rate when you're working with just me. When we bring in my partner, Helena Hart, so far we've had a 100% success rate at putting single people into a relationship. No one can boast those stats. We have a very systematic process to get you from single into a relationship. I'll walk you through the whole thing. What's amazing about our process is it's all done with you. So if we got to create a Match.com account, we go get you the professional photographer. We help you with the outfits. I log in, sign into your Match account, write the profile with you, select the men with you. So that's why our success rate's so high, is because we do the work with you and we're not going to let you fail. I'm in the account doing it with you. You're not just like, oh, Mike told me to do this, let me just wing it. That's not going to happen. We're going to do it together. We're going to get the result. We're going to get you the right guy. And we're going to be efficient. If we think it's the wrong guy, we're going to have a dialogue, get rid of that guy, move on to the next, and be hyper efficient and get the job done and get you to fall in love.
I love that, Mike. I love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for being so passionate about it. Thank you for being you. You are a great guy and you have grown in my heart this year. And I like that. And
Oh,
I'm so happy that you are happy with your girlfriend now.
me too. It feels amazing.
And you did the triathlon with her not too long ago. Oh no, is she
No,
into sports?
no, she's not into sports. So
No.
that's been the solution is I go do the sports myself. She goes and does whatever she wants to do.
Right.
So we cheer each other on.
You learn that eventually you need somebody to bring you food. You need somebody to give you a massage. They have a big role. My husband, well, he's into sports, but he has been fundamental for my success on my sports because he was always there helping me. So
Exactly.
yeah, they're our biggest cheerleaders.
And you know, it's really nice as a man to, she's not into it, but she looks at what I'm doing. She's like, wow, how do you do that? That's so incredible. Like it makes you feel good. It boosts the
If
male
you
ego.
had somebody like me, I'll be like, you can do better, or I'll beat you.
Yeah. And as men, we don't want to compete with women, do we?
So, probably you're better off with her because she can still think, wow, to me to feel like that. I have a coach, he's Australian and he was here visiting, he's still here. And so we met, he comes to Vegas and we get together. He's amazing. And he was showing me these pictures. He went to Washington State and walked into a biplane and was standing up still on the nose of the plane while the plane was going over the mountains. And, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's very cool. But really, what impresses me, and I told him this, I said, what really impresses me about you is that he has friends everywhere. Okay. The guy comes to the States and he's like you too, going to every single state, visiting different friends. And I said, that's what impresses me. Your sport, your, parachuting, whatever. It doesn't impress me because I'm crazy like that. So, you know, so yes, I think you did a good thing with her. And you look adorable together. I'm very happy.
Oh, thank
As
you.
love coaches, we love love. We are suckers for that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
Mike.
that.
My pleasure. I'm gonna take all this out of the video because it's super